Alright guys, so welcome back to another episode of Colton Posey Fishing. So today we're going to be talking about kind of like what I did today. So it's kind of like a fall breakdown because we're in full swing. We're in full fall, and this is one of my favorite times of year to fish because you can cover a lot of water very quickly, and the fish are aggressive. They're feeding up for winter. They're excited to eat, and you know, there's just a few key details that you really need to pay attention to that'll save you a lot of time and catch you a lot more fish. So stay tuned, this is something you don't want to miss. All right, so I appreciate you stopping by, guys. If the video helps you at all, make sure to like, subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. If you have any questions, always drop a comment down below. I'd be glad to answer it. Also, you know, if you know, you just want to talk fishing, drop a comment. Also, I love talking fishing with you guys. But you know, let's kind of talk about the video sponsors real quick, just to kind of get that out there. All the products, everything will be linked down in the description, from the baits to everything. Just click on description, go all the way down, it'll be linked down there. You'll see everything. But the video sponsor, Thunderhawk Lures, we're working with Thunderhawk Lures. They make all different kinds of baits and stuff. Y'all see me using them in my videos. Just go to checkout. Once you get you know, whatever you want added to your cart, you see Posey 20, you'll get 20% off, and it helps me out a whole lot. We're also working with Salty Captain. That's who I've been using to keep my boat, my truck, everything clean. Super quick, super efficient, super affordable. That's the main thing, but they still want to give you 15% off. So at checkout, use Colton 15, you'll get 15% off, and it helps me out. All right, so jumping into it. You know, we've got a super overcast day. It's kind of misting in between. It's not raining, but it's misting, but it's been raining a whole lot. So you know, I've been catching fish in the pockets and stuff like that, like y'all heard me talk about over the past few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, whatever month. But anyways, one of the big things that I wanted to do today was kind of see if where those fish were in that transition, because I've been catching them mainly at the half sections of the creeks. Okay, so like right in that middle mark of the creek is where most of the population of fish would be, but there wasn't really relating to anything. There would be some fish that would, but a lot of them were just kind of out in the channel, just roaming around eating on bait. So I get here today, and the first thing I do, I start at like the mouth of a creek, a super long creek, and I work my way all the way back. No bites, got skunked until I got to the very back, and man, were they stacked. So look, this is what's going on. We've come all the way to the back of a creek. We've got a lot of rain that come in the past couple days. Obviously we got overclouded skies, or overcast skies. So typically these fish will push up in the backs of these creeks. There's a run-in that comes around right here, but these fish are positioned in this real shallow water. I mean, we're like a foot deep. I've got the big motor trimmed up so I can get back here, and I'm making casts with that 3/8 ounce. This is a 3/8 ounce all-terrain smallie smasher with a 3-inch mayor on it. If you can go smaller, especially on threadfin, but they are just busted everywhere. This is a great time to get back up in the backs of pockets and catch tons of fish. I've been here for I don't know how long, but it's an amazing bite. That's the thing, guys. I mean, this time of year you can push back up in these creeks and I mean just catch tons of fish. Yeah, we're not catching massive fish, and I'm not going to say we can't go to like a different creek and catch some bigger ones, But right now it's just tons of fun. So, you know, that's what I was talking about in one of my earlier videos. You know, like this time of year, I'm not going to say you're not going to catch your personal best, and you're going to catch some big ones, but you can go and load a boat down. I've been here over an hour just I mean, just tons of bites, tons of fun. And apparently swim baits are the key, especially, but they're jumping, so we're going to get back to fishing. Either way, you know, we go to another creek, and it's kind of similar. It's just not as long, but it's a straight creek. Like, it just goes straight back to the very, very back of that creek. And I'm throwing that 1/4 ounce spinnerbait and just smacking fish the whole way, all the way to the back and then all the way back out. I mean, it's just, you know, the main thing that I can tell y'all this time of year, make sure you're covering water. Make sure you're covering tons of water, because some areas you're going to find them in the backs, and some areas you're going to find them at that halfway or that 1/4 mark, or, you know, that 3/4 mark all the way towards the mouth. It just kind of depends. But, you know, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of fish in pockets theirself. You know, I am finding shad in the pockets, and there is a population of fish around them, but it's kind of like there's not that big of a population, so they're not really feeding at all times on them. They're kind of coming up, they'll eat, then they'll go back down. Suspend, just rest. You kind of have to time it just right, but in the creeks, you know, you've got these fish roaming. They're just constantly going in and out, and as they do that, you can kind of, you know, catch those fish either or. You know, a lot of times, you know, during specific times of year, I'm focusing on one side of the bank, whether it's a northern bank or southern bank or something like that, just whatever I get keyed in on. But this time of year, you don't really have to do that. You can, like me, I mean, I'm fishing both sides of the creeks that I'm fishing and stuff like that. I'm both sides of, you know, channel swings and all that stuff. I mean, you're just going to find fish here, there, and everywhere. But, you know, finding those fish that are aggressively feeding is going to definitely help you catch a lot more fish this time of year. So we've got on a pattern within a pattern within a pattern. It's just been a fun day. You know, that's the thing about fall. You can have some really good fun days covering water. You don't have to fish slow. I actually had a subscriber comment on one of my spinnerbait videos and said you can't catch fish moving a spinnerbait that fast. I beg to differ, sir. You know, there's times when you need to slow down running baits, and then there's times when you don't. And during the fall, that is a great time to speed up. I mean, you do whatever you want to do, whoever you are. But if you're catching fish running a spinnerbait real slow, then you're doing something right. If you're catching them moving it fast, you're doing something right. That's one of the cool things about fishing. So one of the first ones I want to talk about, y'all have heard me talk about this multiple times, about upsizing your bait. And this time of year, it's important to run both sides, okay, for a specific reason, as you see in the video. You know, this is the 3.75 inch Raid Swimmer with a 1/4 ounce squadron head on it, and I'm throwing it on that 7'3" medium heavy Taco series by Thunderhawk. Got the Lose Classic Pro 15-pound fluorocarbon. It's a super simple setup, but either way, you know, I'm using this as a search bait, and once I find those fish, I will keep targeting those specific fish with that swim bait. And a lot of times you're just going to catch multiples, just multiple, and then they're going to start nipping at it. Now, what I mean by nipping at it, they're just going to come up and bump it. They're not going to get the hook or anything like that, and you're just kind of going to be, you know, what's going on? You're already amped up and stuff like that. That's when I'll kind of swap to the other bait. Now, the other bait that I want to talk about, this one's just, it's about done for. It's the last one that I got, but it's that 3-inch Mayer on that 3/8 ounce all-terrain Smalley Smasher. And, you know, it's 8-pound fluorocarbon leader, 10-pound braided line. But either way, you know, when you start getting those nips on those bigger baits, a lot of times swapping to those smaller baits, you'll start catching fish that are nipping. Okay, eventually they will start nipping at that bait too, and then a lot of times you can do what I did in the video and just swap back to the bigger one, and you're going to start catching them again. You kind of have to go in between, and that's the thing, you know, every place that you fish this time of year can be a little different. So, you know, going in one creek, you may wear them out on swim baits, and then going into another creek, like y'all saw in the video, I'll be wearing them out on a spinnerbait. And speaking of spinnerbaits, this is a spinnerbait that I absolutely love to run during the fall, and I've got to get some more of them because I've done broke a bunch of them. But that's the 1/4 ounce War Eagle Double Willow spinnerbait. It's a super simple spinnerbait. Throw it out there, burn it, pop it. You know, if you hadn't saw how I work spinnerbaits, check out my power fishing video. I cover every bit of that. But it's a super efficient way to cover water, and you just catch a ton of fish, big ones, small ones, it doesn't really matter. You're just going to have a good day on the water. But you know, either way, covering tons of water with this bait, you know, you can get just about anywhere, and you're going to, especially cloud cover and wind, you're going to catch fish off spinnerbaits. It's just with a 1/4 ounce, you kind of don't want a lot of wind because it's really hard to cast, so you may have to upsize. So, you know, I suggest getting, you know, a 3/8 and also getting a 1/4 ounce, but you know, I don't really ever go over to the 3/8 unless the wind's just howling and I need that 1/2 ounce or bigger. So, but either way, guys, I hope the video helps you. If it did, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. As I said, comment if you have any questions or you just want to talk fishing. That's what this channel is all about. Also, we got Colton Posey Fishing merchandise now, so hats, shirts, all that good stuff. Go to my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. You can see all the logos, pick out which one you want, shoot me a message. $25 shipped to your door. Super cheap. I don't really make anything off of them, like a couple bucks. But you know, we've been selling the crap out of them. But either way, guys, I really appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.